Have you ever wondered what it means to be Chinese? Hi, I'm Timothy and I want to welcome you to the Chinese Civilizations channel, a channel I created to explore my Chineseness. You say, I am a Chinese, but I wasn't born in mainland China, and yet I'm very keen to understand everything about being Chinese. My parents weren't born there either, nor were my grandparents. We are what people call overseas Chinese, but does that make us less Chinese? Let's dive in and explore this fascinating question together. Being Chinese isn't as simple as you think. It's not just about where you were born or what your passport says. It's a mix of many things: your family history, the language you speak, the food you eat, and even the way you think. But how do we decide who's really Chinese and who isn't? Let's start with the basics. When most people think of Chinese people, they probably picture someone with black hair and eyes, maybe eating with chopsticks or speaking Mandarin. But did you know that China is home to 56 different ethnic groups? That's right, 56, and they all look different, speak different languages, and have their own unique customs. So, being Chinese isn't just about looking a certain way. Now let's talk about language. Mandarin is the official language of China, but it's not the only one. There are hundreds of dialects spoken across China, and some of them are so different that speakers can't understand each other at all. Myself, I speak English, and I also speak a Chinese dialect, but I don't speak Mandarin. Does speaking Mandarin make you more Chinese? What about people like me who think like a Chinese but don't speak Mandarin? Culture is another big part of being Chinese. This includes things like celebrating Chinese New Year, respecting elders, and believing in certain values like hard work and family loyalty. But what happens when these traditions mix with other cultures? For example, I celebrate Chinese New Year, but I also celebrate Christmas. Does that make me less Chinese? Here's something that might surprise you. The idea of being Chinese hasn't always been the same. In fact, for most of history, China wasn't one big country like it is today. It was made up of many different kingdoms and empires. People didn't think of themselves as Chinese, they were part of their local group or kingdom. It wasn't until much later that these different people were united under one flag and started to think of themselves as one nation. So, if being Chinese has changed so much over time, who gets to decide what it means today? Is it the government in Beijing? Is it the billions of Chinese people spread all over the world? Or is it something that each person has to figure out for himself? Let's look at some examples. There's a famous basketball player named Jeremy Lin. He was born in America to parents from Taiwan. He doesn't speak much Chinese, but he's proud of his Chinese heritage. Is he Chinese? What about someone like Yo-Yo Ma, the famous cellist? He was born in Paris to Chinese parents and grew up in New York. He speaks Chinese and plays traditional Chinese music. Is he more Chinese than Jeremy Lin? And what about people like me? I'm proud of my Chinese heritage, but I've never lived in China. I speak a Chinese dialect at home, but English is my main language. I love Chinese food, but I also love pizza and burgers. Am I Chinese? Am I non-Chinese? Can I be both? These questions don't have easy answers. Being Chinese means different things to different people. For some, it's about your DNA and where your ancestors came from. For others, it's about the language you speak or the passport you hold. And for many, it's a feeling, a sense of connection to Chinese history, culture, and values. One thing is clear: being Chinese in today's world is more complex than ever before. With millions of Chinese people living all over the globe, the idea of Chineseness is constantly changing and evolving. It's not just about being from one place anymore. It's about being part of a global community that shares a common heritage. So the next time you meet someone who says they are Chinese, remember that their story might be more complicated than you think. They might have been born in China, or they might have never set foot there. They might speak perfect Mandarin or they might not speak any Chinese at all. But what they all share is a connection to this incredible, ancient and ever-changing culture. In the end, maybe being Chinese isn't about checking off a list of requirements. Maybe it's about how you feel in your heart, the traditions you choose to keep, and the way you connect with others who share your heritage. It's a personal journey and everyone's path is different. As for me, I'm proud to call myself a Chinese, even though I may not speak the traditional mode. I may not speak Mandarin. I don't speak Mandarin. I try to learn as much as I can, but I still don't speak Mandarin. Even though I love to understand everything about Chinese culture, there are limitations to me being a Chinese, an overseas Chinese who isn't born in China and who isn't living in China. I'm part of a new generation of global Chinese, bridging cultures and redefining what it means to be Chinese in the 21st century. And who knows, maybe in the future, the idea of being Chinese will change even more. So what do you think? What does being Chinese mean to you? I would love to hear from you. If you are Chinese, what does being Chinese mean to you? Whether you are Chinese yourself or just curious about other cultures, I hope this video has given you something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this journey of discovery. In future videos, we'll delve deeper into Chinese history and culture. If you find that interesting, do take a moment to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel and share your thoughts with me in the comments. Until next time, this is Timothy signing off.